you heard Lefty for our last two episodes, and you got the full body of Lefty. I mean, I know that you were exasperated like I was, and I don't know how Joe didn't choke him. But today, we are going to play tapes with Joe and Sonny Black Napolitano, who was the capo who Joe was under, and he also was the acting street boss of the Bonanno Crime Family in New York. The boss, where was the boss, Joe?
Well, if you remember, they had whacked Carmine Galante, and they had appointed Rusty Rastelli the boss, but Rusty was in a can. He was in jail. So they had to have a street boss, somebody out on the street, and one of the bosses was Sonny Black Napolitano, yeah, who was also my captain.
He was also your captain. That's a daily double for you. Now, Rusty Rastelli, we haven't touched on him too much. Did you ever get to meet him, or was he already in the can when you went deep cover?
No, he was already in the can. The only time I met Rusty was in the courtroom at a trial, and he was one of the defendants. But no, I never actually had any conversation with him because, like I say, he was in jail all the time that I was under. Yeah.
What was the word on the street about him? Because I know what the word on the street was about Carmine Galante.
Well, they liked Rusty. Lefty always told me that Rusty was a good guy. I mean, he was a fair guy, and the same thing I got from Sonny. Now, I knew can go what they told me because, like I said, I never met him. I only except in the courtroom. But Lefty liked him, Sonny liked him, and Joey Messina, who was also a main capo at the time, he was with him. He liked him, so I got to take it that he was well liked amongst most of the members of the Bonannos, and also the commission, because the commission okayed him becoming a boss.
Now, did he ever get out of prison during your time there?
Not what I was under, no. I don't believe,
okay.
no, because no. When I was under, no, he was still in the can.
Okay. All right. Now, we are going to play 3 different conversations that you've had with Sonny Black Napolitano, and we're going to stop after each one, going to run them through, and then I'm going to ask you questions that I'm curious about, and I think our listeners are too. Okay?
Go ahead, roll it.
Like tonight, huh? Yep. You must be getting old, brother. Huh?
Yeah, what time was? 11:40 tomorrow night, Delta.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me take this down.
What's the number?
What airline?
Delta Airlines.
Yeah.
I think it's 175.
Yeah.
Arriving at 11:40.
What time do you leave up there?
About 9.
Okay. Delta 175.
Right.
Arrive 11:40. Okay. How many rooms you gonna need?
2, me and Carmine.
2, you and Carmine. Okay. Listen, Benny's man never showed.
Right.
I called Benny last night. He said, I'll try to get to him and I'll get back to you. He's still not that guy. Never got back to us, but he said that his friend wants to meet you Friday morning at the hotel.
We got any money out there?
We got nothing, brother.
Nothing.
We're in the hole, $175.
We got any other money there?
I can get my hands on some, but not, I can get my hands on about 5.
We'll see if you can make it 1. That ain't for me. It's for the old man.
Yeah, okay, well, all right, you only want 1?
Yeah.
All right, because like you said, I don't want to touch that.
No, brother, we got to do something. I promised him 1.
All right, I'll get 1 then.
Right?
I'll call in 1. All right, brother?
Okay.
And 2 rooms?
2, yeah.
11:40 tomorrow night.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Have a nice flight.
Okay.
Bye-bye, brother.
Okay. Joe, after hearing Lefty's tirades and Lefty's, shut your fucking mouth and all of that. Sonny is coming across laid back. Now, we do know that Sonny is a well-respected man in the streets, and he's one tough guy, and he's killed his quota. But I could be friends with Sonny. I mean, now just give me a rundown on Sonny Black, and wife, kids, and how you analyze him.
Sonny Black was a real wise guy. He was a tough guy, but Sonny Black had common sense, and he was calm under situations. He was an individual where I could have discussions with him about other topics than the mob. Where with Lefty, it was strictly all mob life, et cetera, et cetera. With Sonny, I could talk about sports. I could talk about politics. I could talk about anything with him. And I never really saw him get up. Only once I saw him get upset, but not with me. But you can have a civil conversation with him, a reasonable conversation with him, a two-way conversation with him. With Lefty, every conversation was one way, and it was his way. But with Sonny, you had a two-way conversation. He asked your opinion about things, or my opinion, advice. How do you feel about this? Like with that 5,000. All right, what that conversation was about was we had met already previously Santo Traficante, who was the boss of the family
in Florida,
the Florida family, right? And the purpose was to marry up the Bonannos with Traficante to run gambling operations in an undercover nightclub that the FBI had set up, right? So I was able to engineer a meeting between Sonny and Traficante previously. Traficante went along with the idea, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this meeting, again, was to meet Traficante, and the 5,000 that I said I can get my hands on was money that, when these guys, you meet somebody that high, you have to give them a gift. You have to exchange something. So in the previous conversation Sonny had with Traficante, he promised him 1,000, when he came down, and that's why he said no, just 1,000. That's what I discussed with him to have the meeting. So that's what that 1,000 was about. Benny, you heard the name Benny. Benny was one of Traficante's guys who ran a lot of his gambling throughout the state, and he was supposed to send. We were going to have a casino night to benefit veterans of foreign wars. Well, nothing ever went to the foreign war veterans. So Benny was supposed to send up some card sharks from Miami in order to mark the cards, mark the decks for the blackjack, poker, and they never showed these guys at the time they were supposed to show. And so Sonny was coming in, and you heard Carmine. Carmine was Sonny's cousin, who was coming down. Now Carmine wasn't into life. He was just Sonny's cousin. That they were close, and he was coming to Florida with Sonny.
And you had to get them hotel rooms.
Yeah, I had to get the hotel room, pick them up at the airport.
And what car would you use when you picked them? Was it a rental car or? No,
the other undercover agent had a car. They were, vehicles that he had purchased, so they weren't registered under the FBI. They were registered under the undercover's name and everything.
Ah, yeah, because you got to have it registered.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, everything's got to be just like the legit.
From Jam Street Media.